Hey everybody, Lacy here. What is going on with you? Listen, when you watch this clip, most of my clips are about 60 seconds. So this is going to be a lot longer. And if whatever social media platform you're on it cuts you off, tell you what, just go to YouTube, look me up, Lacy Weston, and you'll see this whole clip in full. I'm doing this clip and it was inspired by my sister Murtis. And Murtis has really been in my life. She's been there for me throughout my entire journey. But she said, Lacy, you know, that clip you did with Dallas Raines, I liked it a lot. I really like to see you let people know more, because she said there's so much that you've done in your life and so much you've been through. Even with the clips you did with Lacy Weston shares, that covered a lot, but go a little deeper. So I'll do that. Here you go, Murtis. Anyway, so basically the clip with Dallas Raines, right before this clip, if you look at it, he and I know each other for over 40 years. And when we met, I was 19 years old. I didn't realize he was almost 30. And there were other guys that were about the same age as he was that, we'd all train together, about 5 of us, right? And 2 of the guys were going to be big actors. One guy was going to be a musician. Dal was going to be a weatherman. I was going to be a world champion bodybuilder and own my own fitness studio. I also wanted to write books and music, which is what I'm doing today. But it's really about dreaming big. Now, this is the point my sister was bringing up. It's really about dreaming big, because she made the point my entire life. She's seen me dreaming, even as a child, always dreaming big as to what I want to do with my life. And that's the message she wanted me to share with everybody. Simply because the fact that there's so many people out there, 15 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, with these big dreams. But once you get about 40, 45, 50, people start seeing these dreams going bye-bye, and they stop having the dream and they find depression, right? And dreams are meant to be lived if you really want it. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you're living, if you're still here, you can still dream and you can still have that goal in place and get what you want out of life. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, of course, if you want to play a quarterback and you're 70 years old, well, go play with the grandkids. That's about as far as that's going to go, but you can do it, right? But when it comes to real dreams where you really want to do something in life and make a change in your life, you can. So going back when I was 19, the guys back then, they believed in me. All of us, we're all together, we believe in each other, and that's what it takes, is to be around a group of people that really believe in you. Dallas was about 30 years old. This guy was going to go become a weatherman. He was doing pretty good in life as it was. I'm this 19-year-old kid, and this guy believed in me when I said I'm going to be a world champion and also have my own fitness studio. That's why he was there the other day, because he's proof that we had this conversation, but he's proud of me for having what I have, and I'm proud of him as well. The other guys, they became actors, they became musicians, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this. I was told many times as a child, you cannot do that. In society, there will not be one white person out there that's going to back you and support you and let you do any of these things, these bird brain scheme things you have in your mind. It's not going to happen. That didn't make sense to me. I was called the N-word probably 1,000 times by the time I was 10. There was a lot of abuse, of course there was. My book, She Was Worth It All, tells it all. You can read that if you want to know more. But the whole point is, I never gave up. When I was a teenager, my friends in the clips you'll see online too, talk about how I always talked about the bodybuilding and want to do the things in my life that I'm doing today and that I have done. But the most important thing to keep in mind is this: no matter what a person says, you'll have so many people around you who will not believe in you, who will smile in your face and not be your friend and hope the worst for you, right? But that doesn't matter, because you have to have it within yourself, that belief in yourself no matter what, to keep moving forward, right? When I was told, Lacy, you're never going to be these things. I was 19 years old when I got my first job, 18 years old when I got my job at a health club. I wanted to be a trainer. They said, no, you've got a great voice. We want to put you on the phone room and want to lock you there and have you talk to people and bring them into our club for us, because you're good on the phone. We don't want you on the floor. Well, one day the guy said, Lacy, you're really great at this. And he said, you're never going to make it down that floor. The only way I can see you getting down that floor is if you got fired. He gave me an idea. I listened. He gave me an idea. So what I did is I stopped making calls when he wasn't around. My numbers dropped down. He fired me. Aha. Now I went downstairs to the downstairs manager. He hired me. That's how I got in the training game, okay? Back then, minimum wage was $3.35. I didn't know what to charge people, but I had people that wanted to train with me, so I charged $3.35. Even if the workout took 2 hours to do it, that meant I made less than $8 for the 2 hours. I didn't care, because it wasn't about the money. It was about the goal. It was about the dream. It was about the future that would be birthed from that dream I had, right? Sometimes people get caught up in the money and caught up in what I can have today and this and that and the other. No, focus on your dream. It's the dream you want to focus on. It's your aspirations you want to focus on and move forward with those. I've done a tremendous amount of work in my life for free. because it's not about the money for me. It's about the goal, creating that journey and let it flourish and enjoy that dream I had in my mind. The money will come. And I want you to really get that no matter who you are. I don't care if you're 7 years old. I don't care if you're 50, 40. It's about the goal. Go for it. So going forward, there are many people that didn't believe. So I went to a guy at a health club. He had racquetball rooms in his club, about 6. And I said, can I rent one of your rooms from you so I can train people? You've got a gym here too. I can use some equipment or get some of my own. I can rent your space, the racket space. He said, Lacy, that's a stupid idea. What are you trying to do? Private trade? That's never going to take off. You're ridiculous. It's not going to happen. So I went to other clubs. I was working out, say out of about 12 different clubs, anywhere from Malibu to Beverly Hills to Covina. I was driving all over creation, all the clubs you can imagine with memberships just to train people until one day I got a call from the Locking Out of YMCA. And they said, we heard about your training. Can you come apply for a job? So I did. I worked there for a bit, and then someone else contacted me for a better job, so I started working for them. And finally, I opened my own place. But even then, people said, well, it's never going to last. You'll be out of business before you know it. I had enough money when I moved to a much larger place to make it 6 months, but I signed a 5-year lease. They said, can you last in this 5-year lease? Yeah, sure I can. I almost lost it. In that last month, things flourished and it took off because I kept dreaming, but I kept working, and I will work my ass off. I'm not a fly-by-night guy. I will work my ass off for what I want, always. And that's what it takes. So I'll dream big, but I'll work my ass off even harder. And that's what it really takes. You cannot be lazy when you have dreams. You can have a dream and sit there and think about it and just kind of, okay, this is a fantastic dream. You have to work your ass off. Many people will say, oh, these things on YouTube where they'll say, oh, let me show you how to be a millionaire. Oh, you can do these things on Amazon. You know what? Be realistic. If you really want your dreams to come true, you've got to work your ass off. Stop listening to these ridiculous people saying you're going to make this by tomorrow or next week. I'm 58 years old. I won University at 37. It was a dream when I was 13. I was patient. I'm a very patient person. You have to be patient. You've got to work your ass off, and you've got to dream big. And hopefully you can meet some friends along the way that will pat you on the back and say, look, I like what you're doing. I'm impressed with what you're doing. I'm going to help you. And they might be able to help you 2 feet forward. That 2 feet forward is better than 2 feet back. So take the 2 feet forward and keep going. And maybe someone else will tap you on the shoulder and say, I like what you're doing. Let me give a hand in too. And be gracious. Be very thankful because they didn't have to do it. So it really comes down to dreaming big, but working towards what that is you want in life. And I have to say this over and over again. It does not matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, child, whatever you are. Dream big and go for it. That's my biggest message to you. Go for it. If you don't go for it, then you shouldn't complain about it. You should complain about not having what you don't want. Sure, you can say you tried. Yeah, you can try and try again, try again, try again, right? So again, moving forward, as my career kept growing, I've had trainers who tried to take my business from me. I've had clients, who wanted to partner with me. I said no. So they took my trainers and opened places right near me to compete with me, to crush me because I wouldn't give them what they wanted. They're out of business, right? I've been doing this for about 40 years now. This has happened to me many, many times, but I dream big. I don't worry about the small minds. People will try to stand in the way all the time. But you got to remember one thing too. I also believe strongly in God too, but I also believe in myself, right? And I know what I'm capable of and I know what I'll do. That's what it comes down to you as well. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you're willing to do. You have to know that you're willing to push forward and go for what you really want regardless. Like I said, I've had many people, you see me smiling all the time, you see me doing these clips all the time. That's how I feel deeply inside. But you don't really realize how many people throughout my journey, starting at home, tried to crush me on a regular. I got my first acting gig, right? The movie Top Gun, there was a takeoff of that called Super Carrier. It was about 88 or 89. One of my friends who was director on the show said, Lacy, I want you to come be in this. I want to get you in a couple clips. I got there. When I got there, there was a woman. She didn't like me. Now, let's just say we're different races, and she made a point. The point was, I'll be straight with you. She said, get your black ass off this set. You are not going to work here. I don't like you. I don't like black people, and you're not getting this job. I don't argue. I don't go where I'm not wanted, so I got my gear together, start walking. My buddy calls me over and says, Lacy, what are you doing? I said, well, she doesn't want me here. So he said, no. I'm the director. She's the assistant. He went and spoke to her, kind of chewed her out, said, Lacy, I want you in this scene. I got in the scene, and that's how that went. Point being is, I'm not easily swayed by names or things people say. You can't be. We're living in the world, people. You see what's going on in the world today? It is quite crazy. But nonetheless, you are in it. Okay? And as long as you're in it, if you want something out of this world, you have to go for it. And you can't sit around saying to your friends, well, I'd like to do this, but I can't because. You can't look at your mom and dad, I'd like to do this, but I can't because. You can't look at your wife or husband, I'd like to do this, but I can't because. Because. Why? Because you don't want to. So it really comes down to you being, believing in yourself strongly enough and forceful enough and get yourself out of bed every single day and focus on that goal you really have in mind. And the way I'm speaking, you never really hear me speak like this, but I'm doing this because I'm coming across so many people lately who've reached out to me, not only from the clip from Dallas, but also from the other clips I've been doing, where when I hear them speak, they really want something, but deep down, I've got to be honest with you, they really don't. They say they want it. Look, when a person says they want some ice cream, what happens? They go get it. They make an attempt. When a person says they don't feel well, they'll go to the store and get a remedy, some cold medicine, some Pepto-Bismol, to try to fix that. But when they say they want something out of their life, they're speaking because they want somebody to hear it. And once the person's heard it, oh, I feel good now because I said what I wanted. But they're not doing anything about it, right? Look, these books I'm writing, by the way, yes, I would like to make these into films. No joke, but I'll tell you. I'd like to see these as movies, as clips, as series, and it will happen. Whether it's in my lifetime or after my lifetime and I give it to my son and my daughters and they do it, it will happen, okay? That's my belief system. I believe that strongly and that's how things happen. And if you don't believe like that, you gotta get out of the game. Step aside, let somebody else have your spot. If you really want something out of your life, no matter if you're in a marriage and it totally sucks, do something about it. If you are in a relationship, you want to be better and you really, really want to be better, do something about it. If there's something in your life that's got to change, do something about it. If you just sit there talking about it, you're 20 now, you'll be 70 one day looking back still talking about it and the blaming who? Yourself, right? So my last part to say is this. When it comes to dreaming big, okay, it's a real thing. And yes, online, you've heard the clips where I talk about I've had visions my entire life. I used to get teased about that as well, discredited for that as well. But now today, a lot of people don't do that because they've seen a lot of things actually happen in my life and in their lives and in the world that I've said what happened decades ago. So when it comes to dreaming big, it's not just about the dream. Write it down, okay? And ask yourself, do I really believe in this dream? Is this dream something I really, really believe in? Or is it just something that I thought I might like and it was kind of good to think about? If that's the case, throw it away because it's not worth your time to just waste time dilly-dallying with yourself. If it's a dream you really have, write it down. The next step, write down what the dream is and write down what you want that dream to do for your life. And most important, what is that dream going to do for the rest of the world? I don't ever dream about anything unless I think it's going to do something in the world. I don't think about what's going to do just for me or people that live next to me or maybe just for the city of Pasadena or for California or for America. No. Everything I do in my life, it's about the world. That's dreaming big. That's dreaming big. And when you dream like that, then when you start writing things down, you see a much bigger picture and it's easier to believe in it. It's either going to scare you, which it should, because it's a big ask and a big dream, but you can do it. You really can do it. You made it this far. You were a little sperm at one point. You swam. You became a person. You were born, right? Might sound funny, but it was true. There was millions of you, but you made it through, right? Think about that for a second. Now you're here. You're going to just get here and lay down and die and sit around and be lazy about it and complain about what you don't have? Next time you complain, I'm repeating myself over and over again for a reason. The next time you complain about what you don't have, I promise you, you're going to hear my voice in your head. My clients know this already. I will repeat myself over and over and over again so it bores in your head so you never forget my voice. The next time you say you want to do something and let me put it straight out, and then you're lazy ass about it, you're going to remember my voice. Now you might hate me, but I guarantee you'll love me later when you reach that goal. So go for that goal. I'm right behind 100%. You got any questions? I'm here for you, but go for that goal no matter what. There's people that are going to be against you. There's going to be people that are going to be against you, always, right? But as long as you are for you, you'll make it. Until next time, take it easy.